So, a national hero gets assassinated. The whole country mourns at this massive public vigil. But one person is missing, the president. Why was Donald Trump a total no-show for one of his biggest allies? Look, this isn't just a mystery. It's a lesson in political strategy. Let's break it down. And hey, if you like this kind of thing, smash that subscribe button. Okay, let's dive right in. The whole thing kicks off with a tragedy that just rocks the nation. Charlie Kirk, a huge figure in right-wing politics and the founder of Turning Point USA, is assassinated while he's giving a speech.
And the reaction? It's immediate, and it is massive. Thousands of people gather for this huge prayer vigil at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. to honor him. You know, the entire political world basically hits pause to pay its respects.
But as all of the nation's political heavy hitters gather, one person is just conspicuously absent. The man at the very top, President Donald Trump. And that brings up the central question of this whole affair. Where was he?
Okay, first things first. Let's just establish the simple, glaring fact. While the nation's political establishment gathered to mourn, the president was officially a no-show.
I mean, you've got these huge lines forming outside the Kennedy Center, and the White House press schedule confirms it. Trump is not attending the vigil, and this is for one of his most important, most vocal allies. So if he wasn't in D.C. mourning with everybody else, where in the world was he? Well, the contrast between the public vigil and the president's weekend is pretty staggering.
Yeah, the contrast here is just wow. On one side, D.C.'s elite are at a public vigil. On the other side, the president is at his New Jersey golf club attending a gala the night before. And get this timing. The vigil started at 6 p.m. Trump didn't even land back at the White House until 6:30 p.m. But here's the twist. This is where it gets really interesting. Even though Trump wasn't physically there, his allies made absolutely sure his presence was the center of attention. It was like Trump by proxy.
And make no mistake, this was a high-stakes event. We're talking 85 members of Congress, the Speaker of the House, cabinet secretaries. I mean, basically the entire MAGA power structure was in that room.
So his team immediately gets to work. His press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, steps up to the podium and makes it crystal clear she's not just speaking for herself.
And then Senator Jake Hoffman just hammers the point home, invoking both Trump and his VP, and the place just erupts in a massive ovation. The message was unmistakable. The administration was there in spirit. Then you get Speaker Mike Johnson, who frames Kirk's legacy strategically. He wasn't just a friend, he was the guy who created the movement's Happy Warriors. And then even RFK Jr., his health secretary, calls Kirk the primary architect of his own alliance with Trump. It's like every speech, every single tribute, all orbited one person, the man who wasn't even there.
All right, now let's pivot to Trump's own words, because this is where it really builds. When he finally addressed the situation, he didn't explain his absence. No, instead, he immediately pivoted to an all-out political attack.
Seriously, with his first words on the subject, Trump didn't mourn, he attacked. He took a national tragedy and instantly weaponized it, defining the killer not as an individual, but as a symptom of a much larger political enemy.
And he was specific. This wasn't some vague accusation. He created a clear hit list of who was to blame, using words like scum, sick people, and deranged people to paint this picture of an enemy that needed to be fought.
So when you put all of this together, the absence, the proxies, the immediate counterattack, it just raises a huge question. Was this just a series of coincidences, or was it a deliberate strategy? I mean, when you lay it all out, it looks exactly like a deliberate three-step political playbook. 1. Control the stage without even being there, just use your top lieutenants. 2. Frame the narrative immediately, you define who the villain is. And 3. Rally your base by transforming their grief and anger into political energy aimed squarely at your opponents.
Which leads us to the final, explosive question. Was Trump's no-show a major political blunder, a really insensitive misstep in a moment of crisis, or was it a cold, calculated masterclass in political messaging, allowing him to dominate a news cycle without even having to be in the room? So, what's your verdict? A political misstep or a messaging masterstroke? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns of the playbooks that shape our world, make sure you subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.